Howdy, folks, and welcome to, I think this is video number 9. My kid's yelling downstairs. It's a Saturday. So, in the last video, we were talking about Adam and Eve and whether or not we actually belong here or if we're slaves that need to be returned. If you haven't seen it, you should probably watch it, but we're going to move on to an implication of what that means. I hinted at one, which is 15-minute cities that they're building. Something you should really think about. Are they for the betterment of humanity, or are they for the enslavement of humanity? Each one of us must decide on our own. No one can think for you. But I'd like to speak a little bit about what's going on in the U.S. at our southern border and borders in general. The question here is, as a human being, do you have the right to travel? And I'm going to say the answer is yes. Every single one of those people has the right to enter this country without permission. We have the right to enter any country that we wish to enter without permission. You see, I think it's a real false narrative to believe that governments have the right to know where you are and who's within their borders at any time. That would make them plantations and you the slave to the plantation, and you're not allowed to leave yours to go to another without permission from your owner. That's what that would mean. Now, I know people don't like to hear that people have their right to come here, but they do. As long as you are traveling on a roadway anywhere on this earth, and you are doing so safely, and I don't mean like legally safely, I mean if you're behaving like a responsible human being and you are traveling on public thoroughfares, you have the right to travel. Period. No one has the right to stop you. No one has the right to ask you for identification or any papers of any kind. I do believe it's the Fourth Amendment. You have the right to freely travel and be secure in your papers. Secure means in a safe. No one has the right to see them or touch them as long as you have not committed a crime. And I don't mean a moving violation. I don't mean a code violation. I don't mean any of these things. As long as you are behaving as a reasonable human being, you have the right to exist anywhere you wish on God's created earth. But back to the border. Do we have the right to borders? Of course we do. People have the right to self-determination. They have the right to identify as groups of people and create their own culture within those borders. That's all they are. These are folks that get to vote on certain issues. So can someone just walk into a country and vote? Of course not. It is not their culture. They have no right to this. Now, do they have the right to travel and establish themselves there? Yes. So these people traveling into this country, they have the right to be here. But they also have the responsibility to take care of themselves and have a purpose for being here. You don't get to just walk around and do whatever you want, wherever you want. Again, you have this responsibility of behaving properly. So what's the real issue that's going on at our border? If I'm rambling, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to keep this real short and concise and not get too preachy. But how are these people traveling? Nobody wants to leave their home and go somewhere else. Why do these people have thousands of dollars in their hands to hand off to the people that are getting them across the border? I mean, they're supposed to be poor, starving people that are being run off of their property, but somehow they have thousands of dollars. And then when they get here, they're being given places to stay. They're being given food. They're being given shelter. They're being given money. Who's paying them? These people are clearly being paid to come here. These people are clearly being paid once they are here. Now, can we travel the same way that they're traveling? Of course not. We can't just travel back and forth freely. Why can't we walk out of the United States freely without telling anybody anything. Ask yourself that. Are you free? Are you? Can you come back without saying anything to anybody? Without showing a piece of paper to anybody? These folks can. They're given airline tickets to fly anywhere they want to go. So the question is, who's paying them? Why are they paying them? And why are the people that we believe are elected to help us and protect our rights? Why are they allowing them to do this? And this is every single one of them. This is Republican and Democrat alike. Not one of them is better than the other. If you believe that's the case, you are not paying attention. You are already on the plantation. You are either owned by the Democratic plantation or you are owned by the Republican plantation or the Trump plantation, but they own you. You are owned. Now, if you believe people have the right to freely travel and you are genuinely curious, do people have the right to be paid to come into your country? And the answer to that is no. So there's something else going on here. And that's the crux of the issue. So you have the right to freely travel. This is God-given, and no one can stop this. I'm going to drink some coffee. A little scratchy. And yes, you have the right to a border. You have the right to a culture. You have a right to maintain these things. And if someone wishes to come into your country, they must fit in. But they don't have to ask. It's like, I don't know how many of you saw like the second Godfather movie, but when Vito Corleone comes over here, he's being chased by the mafia, and he just got on a boat and came right in. That's the way most people came over here. The first Americans were being persecuted for religious stuff over in Europe, so they came over here. They didn't have passports, they didn't have permission, they were running away from something. But when they came over here, they established themselves as citizens. Vito Corleone being not a good example. But all throughout history, you have like the Silk Road. People traveled up and down the Silk Road, freely traveling. And as long as you did so, behaving properly, exchanging goods, people want foreigners to come and bring these things. It makes your culture better. The boundaries are there so that you can maintain your culture and your way of life. And people have the right to freely choose which culture and way of life they wish to be in, as long as they do so responsibly. But what's happening now, paying people to come and paying people to stay, they have rights that we do not have. That's all you need to know. And it is both the Republicans and the Democrats. They're in this together. They are against you. It has nothing to do with a border. Nothing at all. So, with that, my friends, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Rant over. What each one of us are going to do about this, again, we are free to do as we wish. We are children of God. You can't be in one camp or another, but to see this as these people being illegal, they're not illegal. They're human beings. Democrats have that right. They have the right to travel here. Yes, they have that right. But what they have wrong is we have the right to travel both ways as well. Leave and come as we wish, without ID. Why do you need an ID? As long as you're behaving the law. And the Republicans have it right also. We have the right to maintain our borders and maintain our cultural identity. Both of these things are right. But the politicians are all 100% wrong, and every single one of them are against you, the American people. I can't think of one who's possibly on your side. And on that, my friends, I will see you on the next one. Until then.